this is Brennan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network, and welcome back to another Lumen Stock Car Invitational race. This is the 21st race of season number 3. We are out here in the deserts of Arizona at the Phoenix International Raceway. It's going to be a hot and slick race here today, especially since we're running this at the start of September. Over 100 degrees here at Phoenix. So definitely going to be an attrition race for these drivers here today. And this was a last-minute addition to the schedule. This race was originally going to be at the Richmond Raceway, but I had some issues with the panic lines that also popped up in last year's race at that track. And I decided to remove it to not have to deal with it. So I replaced it with a similar-ish racetrack out here at Phoenix. Of course, obviously, Phoenix is a 1 mile track and not a 3/4 of a mile track, so it's technically not a short track, but it races similar enough to Richmond where I thought it would be a fitting replacement. Also, the fact that it is a West Coast track, a bit of definitely not bias over here. Anyway, joining me in the booth for the first time ever, it's Eddie Debs. And Eddie, I do believe this is your first LSCI race that you've seen. It's at least the first one that you've seen live. I don't know if ever since I kind of brought you on to call this race that you've watched any races since. But anyway, we're out here at Phoenix. What kind of racing are you expecting out here today?
Well, for someone who's spent a lot of time in Arizona, I can tell you it is hot right now in Arizona, and especially hot on the track. So this might be a race where it just comes down to who knows the tire wear better. The so-called tire whisperers of this invitational may or may not, I'd assume may, make their presence known today. And especially with who we've got starting up front, I mean, this could really go down to anyone as long as that anyone knows how to measure, well, just deal with the circumstances that is going on track today.
Absolutely. We've got the rookie JT Boyd, and he has really come onto the scene this year, especially recently. He got, of course, his first career win and the first win for that team, NH Motorsports, back in the season opener at Oregon. He's been a solid, consistent driver all season long, and he is looking at a late charge for that championship. To his outside is, of course, a driver who is not paying attention at all to the championship. It's Kaylee Maxwell in the 52. And if you guys remember, last time Maxwell was in a race, it was at Milwaukee, which is another 1 mile oval, although a very different one to this one. And she made a lot of crazy, bold moves in that race and led a few laps as well. So definitely excited to see what Maxwell can do here today. Row number 2 is the 98 of Kevin DuPont, who sits third in points right now, alongside the 16 car of Corbin Taps, another one of the rookie year contenders. Row number 3, it's Lori Jackson in the 7 car, alongside Kate Summers in the 92. Row number 4, it's winner of 2 of the last 4 races. It's the single car owner driver from Oklahoma. It's George Bryan, second in points, only 17 points back of the points leader Tim Berry, and he is looking at an unlikely run towards the championship in that 01 car. Alongside him is the 18 car of Zach Dearman. Then it's the 39 of Laken Herndon alongside the 55 car of Michael Harvin. We got the 19 of Ryan Silva. Hudson Motorsports bringing 3 cars to the race here today, alongside the 24 car of Cooper Spur. The 25 of Luana Connie is next, alongside the 86 of Jamison Walker, making his 3rd start of the season. We'll see him one more time at Evergreen attempting the race, and that will round out his 4-race schedule in his return to racing. Joe Smith in the 88, alongside your points leader, Tim Berry in the 11. And then it's the 62 of Vinny Scholes and the 27 of Oscar Duvall. 79 car, that's Kobe Hollenbeck, alongside the 45 of Rebecca Raymond. Then it's the 8 of Darren Walker and the 65 of Jack Gino, the Season 1 champion. We got the 70 of Andrew Kreider, alongside the 81 of Latanya Gray. Then it's the 41 of Karina Willis-Callaway and the 29 of JB Chanot. Ashley Blake in the 36, alongside Holly Martin in the 6 car in the Monster car this week. It's a little confusing because she doesn't usually run the Monster car. That's usually either Barry or Landry, but Holly Martin's in it this week. 28 car, Adrian Wheeler, alongside the 99 of Akia Tajima. Then it's the 66 of Tyler Landry, alongside the 3 car of Billy Smith, who led a lot of laps at Chicagoland last week. Shauna Everett in the 57 alongside the 58 of Cheryl Simmons. And rounding out the field today is the 85 of Charlie McCarron. Now, this was not mentioned on the broadcast last week, but McCarron actually ran that Chicagoland race with a sprained ankle, and she finished 17th. So Charlie McCarron, definitely one durable driver, that's for sure. And one notable driver that did not make the field today. I usually do not mention the DNQs, but Jacob Lopez, the defending champion, actually did not make the race today. He was the one DNQ from this race. 19th in owner points was not enough for that one car to make the field after he fell outside the top 30 in the timesheet. So big name, not even in the race here today, and that is definitely going to put a damper on the season for Jacob Lopez. But that's a bit of a shock. And I don't think we're done with the shocks yet because this Phoenix track is it's going to produce some racing that maybe people don't expect. I mean, it took me a while to find a good version of Phoenix in NR. This is the first time that any of my series are going to Phoenix, so honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this race has in store, and we're going to run 80 laps here today, so that's 80 miles, and this should be a two-stop race. We might get some cautions, we might not, and it's going to be a fun one here today.
Is this on? Drivers, start your engines.
And the pace car rolls off after the incredible command that we just got. 35 cars out here in the desert going to do battle. Eddie, who do you think is going to win the race today?
Well, some of my recent picks have been up and down in the end, but why not go with the guy who at this point kind of has it all? I mean, he's starting 8th, so it's not really having it all, but why not have George Bryan? I mean, 3 wins in 5 will put you right there in the race, and I think he can do it. That's all I'm going to say.
George Bryan with a strong car here today. It's going to be JT Boyd and Kaylee Maxwell leading under the green flag. We are underway here at Phoenix. Oh, Kevin DuPont giving the bump and run to JT Boyd. They're 3 wide for the lead, coming to the line. And I think Maxwell led lap number 1. But here comes DuPont on the inside. Gave the old bump and run to Boyd. They're still 3 wide for the lead coming down the back straightaway. Boyd trying to go through the middle. And they're going to file down to 2 as Boyd almost clears the 98. Does get past the 52. But DuPont still with a run on the inside. He's got some help from Laurie Jackson. But Boyd getting a run off the top side. And if he can clear here into turn 2, he's going to be looking good. But DuPont is still down there.
Oh, no.
Oh, Boyd went way up the track. They're 3 wide again. Maxwell through the middle. And Maxwell, of course, we mentioned at Milwaukee, she's had plenty of crazy moves down here. Is she going to get the lead?
Oh. I think so.
Oh, Maxwell runs wide. Maxwell's going to get the lead out of it.
Holy cow, bumping and banging all over the place. I think Kevin DuPont saw at the beginning Kate Summers with an early, first turn move and said, I could probably pull that off. And what do you know? You pull that off, he puts him in second. Summers, unfortunately, couldn't hold that momentum, is now falling back. George Bryan, you can see back there on the inside lane. But you talk about DuPont, 25 points back, only 3rd place to Barry and Bryan. And, I mean, if he can just get to the finish line first or even second at this point, holding off the other 2 championship contenders, this would be a good day for him. So we're going to have to see if he can keep this benefit. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, it's Bryan.
Oh God, please
sliding into traffic and he's spinning out.
The 88 gets spun.
That's championship contender George Bryan, Joe Smith, Akira Tajima, and others. Back to the line.
Couple cars.
Maxwell's going to get there first with DuPont and Jackson in 3rd. And we have had so many cars getting upside down in races here recently. And once again, we have another one. First caution is out. Holly Martin is involved. JB Chanot, you just saw her go to the garage. George Bryan. Upside down, he got into it with, I think, the 92 of Kate Summers.
Yeah.
And there's the damage on the 92.
Oh, boy. I mean, I said Kate Summers got aggressive early, maybe Oh, no.
DuPont. That's a strategy call. Shaking it up here, pitting early, trying to get on the fresher set of tires.
Maybe trying to keep with Kate Summers if Summers is going to come out. I mean, I assume they're teammates. That might just be a fault of my own, but...
They're not teammates.
Okay.
Summers is driving for Pacific Racing. Kevin DuPont is driving for Walker Brothers Racing. But I don't think he was the only one to come in. Yeah, there's Summers. She's coming in to repair damage.
Oh,
and
yeah, you're not wrong.
Both of the Diamond Motorsports cars are exiting the pits as they too, fellow Hondas alongside the 98, have decided to pit here. So interesting
Maybe
strategy.
not a crew chief call, maybe just a full manufacturer call there, but well, I mean, Brandon, it happens. The Eddie Debs calling a race car strikes again. I thought I was getting rid of it with a couple of my calls recently, but apparently one Kate Summers had a little too much of George Bryan and just put him in the outside wall.
Don't trust me. You're not the only one to jinx the driver this season. Caleb Rose, when he was on the call for the Lumen 500 earlier, he picked Vinny Scholes to win, and Vinny Scholes blew an engine halfway through and finished last. So you're far from the first one. So, well, that's the first.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point though, with an early caution, especially now we're already 1/10 of the way through the race. I mean, we saw some strategy out of some drivers. We see, I think Kaylee Maxwell's might just be happy that they don't have a championship driver behind them, but rather someone in Lori Jackson who's a bit farther out. As well as JT Boyd. I mean, I could see a couple cars making a run to start, but I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to see what the drivers think of the strategy going in to these next couple laps before the first pit run, I think.
And we're also going to have to see the replay of what happened to George Bryan here early in the race. And as you can imagine, he is out of the race. He's going to finish last. And he, alongside JB Chanot, are out of the race. We're going to show you the replay of what happened and then get back to the restart here early in the race at Phoenix. Here's the first caution of the day, and this is a big one. George Bryan going through turns number 1 and 2. Maybe got a bit of help from Michael Harvin there, but he gets sent up the track. And the 92 of Kate Summers is just along for the ride, and that sends him upside down. And this is the scary part of the crash, sliding in front of the pack on his roof. Thankfully, he gets hit. He gets hit pretty good there by the 6 car, but thankfully no really major impacts there for Bryan. Joe Smith, Akiya Tajima, cars top 10 in points, getting involved in that. And there you see the damage to the 29 of JB Chanot, who made contact with the 01 of Bryan, as well as the 6 of Holly Martin. And that is going to end Chanot's day. You see the damage on the roof there from the rear of the 01 car. So that was a scary looking wreck. Another car ending up on its roof. That's definitely not what you want to see, especially after all the wrecks that we've been getting lately. But thankfully, that one was mild in comparison to those. And Brian's going to be walking away from this one, but he's going to finish last here today, and that is going to hurt him in the points significantly.
Yeah, just an uncharacteristic move out of George Bryan, just going up into Kate Summers, getting spun. Didn't notice, I think it's the 19 who was least going to clip him. Oof. Very lucky Ryan Silva hit the brakes. I know he's had quite a weird season this season, just in terms of it, but he managed to get on the brake there. Probably saved at least for a chance, George Bryan. Yeah, poor JB Chanot had nothing to do with that wreck and then just gets caught up into it. But, I mean, 2 racers down, 1 a lap down, car flip. Quite a crazy wreck for 6 laps in, but then again, maybe we can see what happens with strategy and just see if anyone's worked out. And, I mean, we got 70-something more laps of this, so I can imagine it gets just as crazy from here.
Here's the in-car cam of Ryan Silva. Man, how'd you like to see that happen in front of you? Welcome back here at Phoenix, completing lap number 9 of the race. Kaylee Maxwell is your current leader. Lori Jackson in second. JT Boyd, Corbin Taps, Michael Harbin round out the top 5. We've got one car lap down. It is the damage number 6 of Holly Martin, but I don't see much damage on her car, really just the back end, so she might not be all that slow on the restart. Of course, we have 2 cars out of the race, George Bryan and JB Chanot. Pace car is going to pull off, and Maxwell will lead them back to the green here on lap number 10 here at Phoenix. 6 did not get going on the restart, and she might be a bit of a problem. Remember, if she is going too slow, she will get disqualified from the race. But sometimes these damaged cars just take a while to get going. And Oscar Duvall is going to get stuck behind her through the dog leg. And that could jam up the second half of the pack. But for the race lead, here comes Lori Jackson underneath Kaylee Maxwell.
So much for what I said about, I don't know, anything about comfort. I mean, this Lori Jackson went immediately aggressive. I know she wants that win. Especially getting away from... Oh, no. That was a little turning left out of the 52, Kaylee Maxwell. So, a little interesting. I mean, going around the dog leg, yeah, they're fighting. I think the person happiest to see this is JT Boyd, who is now going to get to the quarter panel of the 52. 52 might just be caught out of line. But that 7 is getting away from Lori Jackson, only 22nd in points. You can tell with that kind of move, she definitely wants to get away from these guys and get that big victory.
Maxwell's digging, though. She will not. She will die hard. And it's these top 3 now that have pulled away from Corbin Taps. Luana Connie looking for 5th on the 55 of Michael Harbin. Great to see the 25 up here and back again for the race lead. As soon as we cut away from the leaders, they go side by side, but Jackson will hold off the charge from Kaylee Maxwell. Boyd now up on the outside going into turns 1 and 2. And by the way, as you notice, the start-finish line is still on the front stretch. So, yeah, that's a bit of a moment. We know that the finish line of the actual track is not there, but I don't know. I think it was kind of stupid to move it there anyway. Here comes Maxwell trying to drive it down into the corner. Jackson's going to wash up a little bit, but she's going to keep the lead from the 52. And these lead battles can go on for a very long time. It is hard to pull away from these guys, even on a track like this. So, Jackson doing a good job fending off Maxwell so far. And JT Boyd's doing what he needs to do, running up in 3rd place right now.
I want to point out Luana Connie now in 5th. She was... Oh, boy, never mind. Sorry, Luana Connie, you might be the top 5 of 52. Was looking down low and very low. That seemed like a dive that they had to abort out of, and that's going to help JT Boyd get to her bumper. But as I wanted to mention earlier, Luana Connie started kind of back in the order and is now trying to put the move onto Corbin Taps. So, again, what do I say about tire whisperers? Maybe we found the one. She's moving up into the pack. Maybe benefited a little bit from just where people crashed, maybe benefited from the crash and just get in front of people as the 77's trying to put the move on both of them and is going to get neither. Albeit maybe the left quarter. Oh, yep, got it on the left quarter panel, and that's going to maybe get him past Maxwell. Although Maxwell goes... Okay. I have noticed that. Maxwell's definitely turned a bit too much left on turn 2, and that might be a spot of trouble for them both in terms of people moving in on that outside and just maybe even not giving them the speed they want. But I think, yeah, Boyd's going to get back into line. That's going to help Lori Jackson get away. Quarter of a second right now between the 1st and 2nd drivers.
JT Boyd moves up into 2nd, but for how long? Maxwell's still looking on the inside once again, and these 2 battling each other is going to help out Lori Jackson. I said it's not the easiest to pull away, but if the 2 cars behind you keep swapping back and forth, then that it absolutely is easy for you to pull away. Maxwell slipped up a bit in turn number 4. That's going to allow Boyd to get the run on the outside and hang on to 2nd place in the NH Motorsports Toyota. But Maxwell's not done with him either. We've noticed Maxwell in a cup car. She's been very, very aggressive, and she never gives up on these battles. And that's definitely gonna put some spotlight on her for some potential cup teams next season. And Maxwell will pass Boyd for 2nd, and now we'll see if she can run down the 7 of Jackson again.
And looking back, Connie got up to 4th. I may have maybe getting a prediction right in the end as, 16's a little slow. That's a 45 of Rebecca Raymond. I mean, I think we all know the story. Rebecca Raymond coming in, had to miss a couple races, had to miss, I think, 1 race due to some poor judgment in the end. But the 25, I mean, she's up to the top 5. So these might be her 2 cars trying to catch in the back who are trying to catch the 3 who really got away with it. And I think they are, given what I'm seeing on the times. Kaylee Maxwell going on the inside of Lori Jackson.
It did not
Looking
take
for
very
dog
long.
leg.
It did not take long for her to catch her. Side by side going through turns 3 and 4.
Pretty close if
Maxwell.
they come across the line for 21.
Jackson got the run on the outside. If Maxwell can
Yeah,
stay to the
man.
inside and 1, she could have had a shot,
Nope.
but she wasn't able to. But you know she's going to try and dive it into the corner again. And here she comes again with another charge through turn number 2. Side by side through the dog leg. And they're going to be side by side into turn 3. But I've noticed those cars can really get some grip going up on the top side in turn 4, so it's not the easiest to pass through 3 and 4. It's kind of like a reverse Las Vegas in a way, where Vegas has that kind of grip up in turn number 2. But here it's off of 4. But if you can stay inside, if you can stay inside going down the front and into turn 1, then you'll have a good setup for the next couple of corners, and that's exactly what Maxwell's doing right now. She's going to draw even with the 7 of Lori Jackson. She's going to send it into turns 3 and 4. And here on lap number 22, she's got it. Very well done by the 52 of Kaylee Maxwell. And she's back in the lead over the 7 of Lori Jackson. Boyd hanging out in 3rd. And side by side for 5th between Rebecca Raymond and Corbin Taps in the 16. Raymond has actually been on a bit of a redemption arc lately. She has been having some good runs. Oh, that was close there. She almost chopped the 16, thought better of it. And the 25 also kind of upped the racetrack a bit. So Corbin Taps looking for at least 5th, maybe 4th as well here on this 25. And he's got a lane down there. We'll see if he can keep it going. Meanwhile, these top 3 are pulling away from him.
And if you don't look now, Oscar Duval, who we mentioned got stuck behind the lap car of Holly Martin earlier, is now up to 9th. 66, Tyler Landry in 10th. That's a good run, at least to catch George Bryan, if nothing else. And then, 39 in the 55, 2 cars in the top 20. That's Lakin Herndon and Michael Harvin. As Harvin tries to go for that same move that, worked in the 52. Why not try it?
Holly Martin will likely get pulled off the track here soon. Her lap times are more than a second off of the leaders, and that is within the threshold of retiring her from the race. We'll give her a couple more laps, but she's on the backstretch and the leaders are entering 1. So if they get close enough, then the 6 will probably be out of the race here soon.
Looking at times too, you're right about them falling back. 25's lost about 0.4 of a second to the 77, or at least everyone in that pack's losing time. So this might just be a race where the mini packs are just going to form between people fighting, and there's not really going to be much interchange between them. Will definitely benefit, of course, our 3 drivers up front. Rookie, a hot heat. Someone just outside. Just outside the top 20, so definitely going to be an interesting one. She's starting to pull away a little bit, half a second at this rate.
And Martin will be asked to pull in the next lap, so her day is done. The DVP has expired on that 6 car. And you're right, Kaylee Maxwell is pulling away from the 7 of Lori Jackson here, and the 77 of JT Boyd. I wanted to point out that Corbin Taps was catching the 77 until the 45 got under him, and Rebecca Raymond is trying to go for 4th here in that 45 car. But these 2 were actually catching back up to the top 3 for a moment there. But Raymond is going to pass Taps for 4th, and that will kind of stunt their momentum, but it will give Raymond an extra spot. Further back in the pack, Oscar Duval, who was impressive last week at Chicagoland, having another top 10 run here today. And there's your points leader, Tim Berry, running just outside the top 10, and he is in front of everyone he needs to be in front of, pretty much. So he's looking to expand that points lead over the rest of the field.
Where's DuPont been so far? Seems like something big out of him. Where's he gone off to?
There he is. Remember, he came in and pitted under the last caution. He is 19th right now. So,
out of 35 drivers, that's kind of where you want to be when you're moving up. But yeah, you got to catch Tim Berry in the end of the day, and we'll have to see if all the pit stuff worked out. But I think it's going to come down to, oh, we're on lap 30. We're getting ever closer and closer, and that just might be where things start to shake out a little bit as the lap times in the front couple of cars just seem to be kind of static right now.
Laurie Jackson is 4/10 behind the 52 of Kaylee Maxwell, who can't quite get that far ahead of the 7, but still has a decent-sized gap. JT Boyd in third, Rebecca Raymond, Corbin Taps both trying to run Boyd down. Boyd definitely seems to have fallen off later in the run, so it's pretty clear that he has a pretty strong short run car more than anything else. So we know he's hoping for more cautions, but so far we've been clean after that first initial crash on lap number 5 or so. And one thing that could definitely shake up these packs, other than the 45 just catching up to the 77 like now, is the green flag pit cycle. If we get to it, that could be a big factor in this race. And we saw that cycle basically determine the winner at Chicagoland when there was one really late in the race. Jack Gino tried some strategy, tried to stretch it as far as he could, only took a splash of fuel in the last pit stop, and then he got passed on the last lap by Brian, who had the fresher tires. And it's possible we could see something similar here today. Maybe not quite as dramatic as that, but who knows? You definitely could have the tire strategy kick in, especially with the green flag pit stops and the differing levels of tire wear on the cars. But Maxwell sitting pretty out in front, now almost 0.6 of a second over Laurie Jackson. And Rebecca Raymond is running down the 77 of Boyd, albeit slowly, but still chipping into that gap to third. And I think you want as much track position as possible before you take your green flag pit stop. Kind of benefit from that.
Speaking of drivers, I mean, at least moving up, Vinny Scholes has gotten up to 9th now. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the 11's kind of fallen off and is now going on Oscar Duvall. Pacific Racing having at least a good run, but damn, there is Tim Berry.
15th, he lost a few spots.
Which means
DuPont is in 18th. So they're getting closer together. Vinny Scholes, one of the few drivers in here that you've probably heard of before an LSCI race, because she ran in the Lenovo Pro Series and also her Sprint Series for a few races. She has run every single race. She and Charlie McCarron are the only two drivers in the field that have run every single race in LSCI, all 61 of them, but has yet to go to victory lane. And McCarron's won a couple of exhibition races. Vinny has won absolutely nothing, so you got to think a win is overdue for that 62 car. She doesn't seem to have winning pace this week, but she could definitely snatch up a good top 10 finish.
Mm-hmm. And where she is in 19th right now, that's kind of exactly what you want at this point, to throw something off. I mean, I don't want to say get re-signed, because Vinny Schultz probably always get re-signed at this rate, but I mean, we're coming towards mid of the race. You said 2 pit stops, and most of these guys have had 0 so far, so
might be making it a one-stopper.
Yeah, maybe some cars are just going to try and stretch it to the best of their ability. And
number 38. I would expect at this point that it would be a one-stopper. If it's this close to halfway, probably just split this race in half. And we'll see how this develops. Jackson has kept within striking distance of the 52. That was a good run through the middle of the corner. But she's kept within striking distance, and they've both pulled far away from the 77 of JT Boyd. And they're battling for 4th again. The 45 and 16 have been swapping that spot back and forth, kind of killing their tires in the process, but that hasn't stopped them from running down Boyd, as Boyd is now 1.7 seconds back of the leader. Jackson is hustling, though. Oh, she's going to go to the inside of the 52. Goodness. What a dive from Jackson. And they're side by side once again. And this is the checkered flag racing versus Blake Everett Motorsports battle we've kind of been waiting for all season. We have not had much action between these two teams. Of course, these two teams split off from each other after season number 2. They're bitter rivals. This is really the first race all season where they've both been clearly battling each other for the lead. But what's interesting is that Maxwell's driven for both teams this season. She was in the 15 in her first Cup start at Michigan, but she's been in the 52 for all the rest of her starts. But either way, the gap was 1/100th of a second across the line. last time by, and it looks like Jackson's going to take the lead over the 52 of Kaylee Maxwell.
It just depends if she can get clear right here, because Kaylee Maxwell's gonna. Yep, she got clear.
Oh, they're pitting.
That's there.
They're
Oh, here we
coming into the
go.
pits.
Right at 41. This is gonna be a one-stopper, and they're gonna bring 77 to Boyd with them. Only the top 3 and a couple other cars back there, but man, jump to the top 3.
They're all going to try. They're all going to try and undercut. Now, the advantage to having the undercut is that you'll get the most track position out of it because all these other guys are running out on old tires. But the disadvantage is if there's a caution, you'll get stuck potentially a lap down at a track like this. Here you see Raymond, who just led a lap, coming in. The 25 of Luanakani is trying to get the overcut. And the advantage to that is, of course, you've got the fresher tires for longer in the run after this one, but you bleed time by staying out there on the old ones on this one. But also, if there's a caution that comes out, then you'll get an advantage quite a bit if you're out there. But I don't think we're gonna see a pit cycle caution, so that could end up being irrelevant.
There's
but
a
I
lot
don't know.
of
They're still pretty dicey right there. There's the 52 of Maxwell. And where is Lori Jackson in comparison to Maxwell? Hold on a second. Where is she? She is out ahead of Maxwell.
Oh, man.
And now they've got... I think these cars have yet to pit. That is third place Cheryl Simmons and fourth place Akia Tajima.
Did Tajima pit during the early cycle?
Oh, Simmons, I think, tried to pit there. Simmons did pit under the early cycle, you are correct, and DuPont also did as well. He's going to lead some laps here, and that's going to give him a bonus point over Tim Berry.
But it's not going to last for long, though, when you're 2 seconds. And the leader, or at least the presumptive leader right now, is 2 seconds of closing. Although, man,
that's what fresh tires does, right there.
Yeah. And that's... I mean, I guess DuPont at this point is just going to wait, and just hope people run out at the very end, but he might not be doing himself too much good keeping out like that. A lot of drivers now kind of a lap down,
DuPont,
at least according to that.
Yeah, that's because DuPont, Simmons, Tajima, the 81, and a couple of others have yet to make their pit stops and are a lap ahead of everybody due to that fact. The 58's coming in now.
There we go.
So there goes Simmons.
He got held out again.
But the 98,
yeah.
The 98's still out there. And honestly, I think he's hoping for a caution right now because that would be a lot of cars one lap down. The 7 and 52 have unlapped themselves. The 52 took a while to get past DuPont, and that has allowed Lori Jackson to get out to a big lead over the 52 of Maxwell. DuPont, I think his goal was to try and get some fresher rubber for this last run at the race, so that towards the end he'll be in a little bit better spot there, but I think he's just losing so much time by staying out for this long that it's not worth it.
Also worth mentioning, there are a couple of cars who are still going with him. 99 of Tajima, also the 81 of LaTanya Gray is not allowed down. Neither is the 92 of Kate Summers.
I think Gray's come in.
Gino, so 5 cars kind of staying out right now. Albeit, I think some of the ones who got caught up earlier and just had to pit, or at least hit strategy.
Boyd and Raymond are going to unlap themselves. And the 98 is still out there. I think Tajima's come in as well, so I think DuPont might be the last one out here, and here he comes. He's coming in here on lap number 49. 32 laps to go, coming to 31 laps to go. So it's going to be a shorter final stint for DuPont, but he will have 10-lap fresher tires than everybody else. So we'll see how that works out for him. That's an even bigger tire advantage than he had in the first run, I believe. He stayed out there longer than anyone else that pitted under that caution, and I do believe that he is the last one to come in and pit. So the 7 will cycle out with the lead over Kaylee Maxwell, and looks like she's got about a 1.6 second lead over the 52. About 1.5 seconds, yeah, back to the 52 car. So we'll see if Maxwell can run her down here But I think a lot of these guys might need a yellow after this to get back in contention of this. How about this? Ryan Silva in the 19 has not had a top 10 all year. He's bounced from team to team. He was originally going to run the full season with Diamond Motorsports. He underperformed and left the team. And he's been bouncing back and forth between teams. He's with Hudson Motorsports this week and having a good run out here today in 7th. So looking for his first top 10 of the season.
And I believe he was the driver who at least had the fastest time in practice, so
he did have the fastest time.
I can run at good speed, but yeah, just oh boy, and then the 45 gets around the 77. I think that was probably going to happen, but Rebecca Raymond with a good run.
Raymond up to 3rd.
Yeah, 0.5 seconds now separating the leader in 2nd place, and it's just gonna be, I guess, one of these races where we're just gonna have to see if a caution comes out, because there might not be any other way the 52 catches the 7 unless some lap cars come in between them, but that probably won't happen at any time soon. Although
there are
again,
Kate Summers, Jack
there.
Gino, but they are on fresher tires than the leader, and are they running? They're not running faster lap times than the leader though, so we'll see. They could play a factor in this race. They're also not getting slow enough to get DVP, so we'll see what happens there if that situation ends up developing further.
Speaking of good pit stops, we see Kobe Holland back after having not seen a lot out of him. He's 9th now. There's Uluwana kind of getting up there, but I think some people just had a good pit strat, and that's kind of worked out for some of these guys. 39's dropped back a little bit. I guess the real question then becomes where is Barry and DuPont at this moment, but given we know they might just been, I mean, DuPont's in the back. Tyler Landry, I haven't seen. Well, there's Tyler Landry in 15th. He's ahead of Tim Barry, so
Landry's in 15th. Barry's in 17th. DuPont's in 27th, but DuPont's off sequence, so we'll see. We'll see how that works out for the 98. He's hoping to get all that track position back out on the track with the fresher tires. But Lori Jackson setting the pace here today, looking for her first career win here in the 7 and trying to get the 3rd win for Checkered Flag Racing in just the second half of the season. And this, what was looking like an equal battle between them and Blake Everett Motorsports over the course of the first half of the season, is now becoming very, very one-sided in favor of Checkered Flag Racing. Jackson out here pacing the field, and Kaylee Maxwell is losing time to her. So it's looking pretty good for the 7 car, but we still got plenty of laps left. We got 25 to go. So that's still plenty of time for things to kind of take a turn here in this race. So she has by no means won it yet, but she's looking pretty good out here in the 7 car.
I mean, what else is there to say? If you want to get, 3 is a magic number, but talk about a magical win if you end up doing it, and not to mention getting them, getting a step up over, owners have something to say about each other that they will, can't really say on mics. But I mean, at this rate, just the run she's been having, the speed she's holding, and just the lap times are definitely proving that 7 is a step up from the 52. At least for, well, as soon as I say that, 52 got a little bit of time back. So again, this might be just a patience race where we just have to see if 52 catches the 7, if anyone else makes that big of a charge, or if anyone makes that big of a mistake.
Tim Barry stopped on the track, and we got a caution.
Holy cow.
That's the points leader, stopped on the track. He gets teleported back to the pits. That's the worst possible spot for him to stop, too, right on the front stretch. And more problems for Tim Barry. He had a tire go down. And that is not the first time that he's had a tire go down within the last few races. He had a tire failure from the lead at Kentucky that touched off a big crash. Thankfully, this one doesn't result in an accident, but it does result in a caution. And Eddie, this changes everything.
You said it. I mean, you could talk about this changes everything from George Bryan going out, because even if the 11 gets back on track, he's going to be at the back. So this really does change both this race, the championship.
That was a quick toe. That was a quick toe, but he's 1 lap down.
So he's probably not going to get much out of this, which means DuPont and his, wacky strategy, as you can call it, or Tyler Landry and just his kind of normal, quiet day-to-day they might be getting some points back on the top two, and this could make the race a whole lot different. I mean, the only other guy I could talk about really is the top five is Joe Smith, and he's back there with the 98 of DuPont. So
29th. I think he was in the
change,
accident.
and and then the other thing you said with JT Boyd being the fast on the short run, this might be a great moment for JT to get some spots back and just play defense the rest if he can do it. But I mean, what else is there to say? The leader goes out with a tire failure, really bad tire failure if he couldn't get all the way back around.
Well, he wasn't the leader this time, but the leader
Points
did.
leader.
The points leader. That is true. Lori Jackson. I think the most significant part of this, of course, is Lori's 1.7 second lead is now evaporated, and now she's going to have an aggressive Kaylee Maxwell right behind her here on this restart. Things are going to get heated here at Phoenix. No pun intended. Second caution of the race here today for Tim Berry, the points leader, having a tire failure, stopping on track, falling a lap down, and that is going to be big implications for the championship here. We will show you one replay of what happened, and then we will get you the next restart here at the Phoenix Raceway inside 20 laps to go. Only one replay for this instant. Tim Berry goes into the corner, and there goes the tire. In the middle of turns 3 and 4, he could not get down to the pits. Stays up out of the way of traffic, and this is the scariest part of it. He turns down, and Kevin DuPont almost runs into him. He almost clips the 81 of LaTanya Gray. And I have no idea what he's doing right here, but he kind of swerves all over the place before coming to a stop, and that brings out the caution. I don't know. That looked a bit sketchy to me, the fact he was swerving all over the place. But, like, that was still a tough break there for the 11 of Tim Berry, and obviously going to set him back on the points. And this could be a good opportunity for some of those guys behind him to catch him. Welcome back here at Phoenix. We are on lap number 62 of 80. I like that number. That's a pretty good number. We're coming up to lap number 63. 18 laps to go here at Phoenix. Lori Jackson is the leader, Kaylee Maxwell second, and then it's Rebecca Raymond, JT Boyd, and Corbin Taps running out the top five. Tim Berry, the cause of the caution, the only car one lap down. He's going to have the freshest tires out of anyone because they've changed the tires after they towed him back because it was a tire failure that he had. And he's going to line up inside the leader, so he might cause some shenanigans here at the front as he tries to get his lap back. Jackson on the gas. We're back green flag racing here at the Phoenix Raceway. We got some big blocks getting thrown back there. Luana Connie and Ryan Silva. And Barry's going to clear the leaders here off the restart.
Here comes 77 with a terrible jump.
Here comes the 45 of Raymond going for second on Kaylee Maxwell. And the 25 and the 19 are moving down there on the inside lane. And Raymond into the 7 car of Jackson. Going to center up the track. They're going to go for the lead. Rebecca Raymond not going to get underneath the 7. Jackson will hold firm. But I don't think this battle's over yet. Raymond with a great restart there. Barry now clear of those guys. He still needs a caution to get his lap back. But, well, I mean, he has his lap back, but he needs a caution to catch up with the tail end. So the job is not done for the 11 car. And for the lead, the 45 of Rebecca Raymond to the inside. The 7 hanging tough on the outside. They're side by side going into turn 1. Raymond will have the edge. Luana Connie back there, you see her up in 4th, battling for 3rd with Kaylee Maxwell. And Corbin Taps also making up spots on the inside as well. But Rebecca Raymond's going to go to the lead here late in the race here at Phoenix.
Man, I guess I picked the wrong driver to make the jumps. Oh my goodness, Luana Connie. What I say about Tire Whisperers earlier, she might have figured it out. 15 laps to go, and now she's moving up into second. Probably going to, I mean, I don't want to predict anything anymore, but she's probably going to get around Lord Gaskins and get him through the dog leg. Again, that's letting this 45 get away, but given what Luana Connie has shown in the past couple of laps and throughout this race, I think that car is going to look for some kind of big dive to make up some ground. I mean, they're going back into it, but man, would have thought the top 2 would have immediately lost out to 2 other cars right from the get-go after that restart.
Maxwell trying to battle with the 7. Corbin Taps says, nuh-uh. He goes to the inside of the 52. And the positions are just bleeding away for the 52 of Kaylee Maxwell. But she's still having a pretty good run here. She doesn't have a championship to worry about or anything. Arguably, neither do these two. Rebecca Raymond, Luana Connie, they're not full-time, or they are full-time drivers, but they're way down there in the points. They've been struggling over the course of the season, but they've had some good runs as of late. And now it's starting to pay off for them. And this battle for the lead, this battle for the win, I should say, might come down to these two cars right here, Rebecca Raymond and Luana Connie. But don't count on any of these guys back here to kind of break away. The 16's looking pretty good. Lori Jackson still hanging out there in third, and the 79, who, you know, he's raced open wheel cars in the past. Phoenix used to host open wheel races, but I think they stopped going there by the time he started racing. But Ryan Silva trying to take it 3 wide, but he is not going to gain any spots from that. And the 52 is just slipping back.
27 really out of the top 10.
Yeah,
AT Boyd had a fast car to. He's out of it now, the 41. Well, no, he might not be out. Here comes Vinny Scholes, might be the one to take him out of it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the 77. It looked like he had a pretty good short-run car early, but definitely not proven to be a good restart for him. Luana Connie in the 25, getting close to the 45 of Rebecca Raymond. We might be having a battle for the lead here soon. Corbin Taps is closing into these two, and here comes Connie down to the inside in the 25. They're going to be side by side once again off of turn number 2. And we are coming up to 10 laps to go next time by here at Phoenix. We are getting down to it here, and it is getting heated at the front.
Ooh, Connie's good.
Caution's
clear?
out. We have a caution.
Oh, barely.
Racing back to the line. Raymond will get the lead. And Zach Dearman.
Kate Summers, the 18.
Zach Dearman involved. Ashley Blake involved in yet another accident. Cooper Spur involved. Kate Summers might have been in it. Looks like a small pileup on the backstretch is what the caution is out for here with 10 laps to go. We're going to have a late race shootout. Oh my goodness. And what a race back to the line that was between the 45 and the 25.
Perfect news for a couple of drivers. Yeah, the 16s. I mean, Corbin Taps has been just hanging there right now. He could maybe make the craziest move of his young career with a move down to the inside.
We got a lot of interesting.
Out of nowhere in the top 4.
We got a lot of interesting drivers up here. 79 Kobe Hollenbeck is up here. Lakin Herndon, he's no stranger to winning races in crazy ways. He won the closest finish in LSCI history back at Las Vegas in Season 2 over Kobe Hollenbeck. Corbin Taps, we've seen him make big moves on the restart. And of course, we got these two who've had miserable seasons and are trying to make a highlight. So we got a lot of stories up here in the top 5. And the top 2 drivers on that last restart are back in 6th and 8th. That is just wild. None of the top 3 really got going on that restart. '36 doesn't have a front end anymore. So, but it's late enough in the race where she's probably not going to get disqualified, so you might as well just get it back out there.
Barry's back up. Barry caught him, and
yeah,
Barry's got a shot at this point.
That's great news for Tim Barry. He's going to get his lap back because he got it back the old-fashioned way, so that's cool for him. We'll see how many spots he can gain here with the limited number of laps he's going to have, and we will really not have that many laps left here. Third caution of the day. Small, probably like 4 or 5 car pileup on the back straightaway. And looking at the running order, nobody was taken out from that wreck, it looks like. So everyone's going to keep going. We'll show you the replay of what happened here, and then we'll get you back with what will likely be, basically guaranteed to be, because we don't have any overtimes, the final restart of the race here at Phoenix. It's going to come down to the wire here, and we're going to see who wins out here in the desert. Here's what brought out the third caution of the race. Andrew Kreider enters turn 1 a little too hot, gets into the side of Cheryl Simmons, and then maybe their fenders locked or something. They just could not get off of each other. And then exiting 2, 58 gets put in the wall, 70 gets turned around, and it's on from there. You see Cooper Spur get involved, Zach Dearman gets involved, and then Dearman is going to slide up the track, get into the wall pretty good right there, and he's going to get sideswiped by the 28 and then plowed into by the 36 of Ashley Blake, who has just had possibly the worst season imaginable there for the brand new owner driver. And looks like Kate Summers in the 92 also got some front end damage from that. So there's about 6 cars involved in that, 6 or 7. So minor pileup in terms of not that many big hits, but that is bigger in terms of car count than the one that we had on lap 4. So that's interesting, but that's going to cause a lot of damage. But I don't think any of these guys are going to retire from the race. 36 might, because that's a pretty significant buckle in the hood. But other than that, I think everybody's going to keep going. But this is definitely going to shake some stuff up at the front. And we're going to see a late race restart here at Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, 2 cars unfortunately getting together from the package. Man, a lot of cars, nowhere to go. Dearman, I mean, top 10 driver really could have gotten out of it and then just smacked into by Blake. Again, you said Blake's really unlucky, but this might be a very unlucky run for Dearman. I mean, I know he was kind of in the back to start, but just taking that sort of damage, especially in a race where a couple of the guys are in the back with you, you know, kind of putting a damper on your hopes of maybe catching up to the leaders by the end of the season. But I think the thing to focus on more now is you've got a really close race together. Everyone's going to come back together with only a couple laps to go, and we're going to have a shootout in the desert, which of all places is where you want to be.
We are back here at the Phoenix Raceway. We've only got 6 laps to go to decide this one. Rebecca Raymond out in front, Luana Connie in second, Corbin Taps, Lakin Herndon, Kobe Hollenbeck rounds out your top 5. This is going to be a crazy one here, out here in the desert. I'm excited to see who wins this thing. Back in the top 10, you have Jackson Silva, Maxwell, Willis Calloway, and the 55 of Michael Harvin. All in the top 10. It'll be interesting to see who gets the jump. This jump on the restart is going to be critical. And we saw a lot of drivers up front not have a good restart last time. We'll see if these guys have it under wraps here. Rebecca Raymond and Luana Connie back on the gas. We are green flag racing again here at the Phoenix Raceway. Good jump by the 25. Good jump by the 39. Oh, Connie's going to get underneath the 45. Almost 3 wide for the lead. Connie's going to get underneath the 45 of Raymond.
Oh, it's coming around. He's going to get... Oh, nope. 45's going to have that run on the outside, most likely. He's not going to be able enough to clear. 39's got help from the 19,
staying down there, though. If she can stay down there in turn 1, she might have a shot. Raymond trying to clear going into 1, but she still leaves the door open for the 25. Connie going deep into the corner, trying to get that run off of turn number 2. We got 5 laps to go. And they're side-by-side still for the race lead. They're side-by-side for third. They're side-by-side all throughout this lead part of the pack. Raymond trying to roll the outside. Connie trying to make it work on the inside. And what a great run the 45 got off the corner. And she's going to clear the 25 of Connie.
I mean, I just think we saw some of in turn 34 for Connie. Oh, but 39. 39 making that move. Ooh, not enough. But not definitely no help for Connie. It's going to be all on her and all on whether she can dive in on 3 and 4 like she did in a couple other moves earlier in this race.
Oh, look at Hollenbeck taking it 3 wide. He bumped his teammate up the racetrack. They're going to be 3 wide for third. That move is not going to work out for Hollenbeck. He was not able to stay underneath any of them. Rebecca Raymond's trying to pull away. We've only got 3 laps to go. Luana Connie's running out of time to make another move.
She's going to have to dive it. Just dive it in the 3 and 4. She's done it before. She can do it again.
She's closing back in on the 45. Here she comes. Dive bomb down to the inside for Connie. What a run she got. Can she keep it? Can she make it stick on the inside? They're side by side with 2 laps to go.
Here we go. 2 lap shootout in the desert. Perfect place to have it. Come on.
Connie down to the inside. Raymond washed up the track. They're almost 3 wide behind. Connie with the edge down the back straightaway. Can she keep it going here in the 25? Raymond up the track again. Raymond looking for that run up top.
Got him.
She's got it. She's cleared the 45. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Luana Connie. Can Raymond try to cross her under, though? This one's not over yet. She's still there. Good 1 and 2 for Connie, though. Raymond's going to have to send it. She's going to have to send it through 3 and 4. But Connie is pulling away. Going through turns 3 and 4.
I don't think she got it. She doesn't have enough. Oh, it does.
Here comes Raymond. Down to the inside. They're going to be side by side coming off of turn number 4. But Raymond's not going to make it stick. Luana Connie gets to the line first. She's gonna win it in a thrilling finish here at Phoenix.
Oh, man.
Raymond gave it all she had, but it wasn't enough, and it's the second career win for Luana Connie. Oh my goodness, and for the second week in a row, a late race duel and a pass within the last 2 laps of the race. And the caution is out.
Oh, my
And
goodness gracious.
we had a bit of extracurricular activities, but it doesn't matter. The race is over, so they can just wreck their cars if they feel like it. But wow, Luana Connie and Rebecca Raymond put on a show for the fans out here in Arizona. And Luana Connie is going to come home the victor here today. Average race pace of 104 miles an hour. We had 32 cars finish on the lead lap. Tim Berry ended up finishing 25th, so he did gain quite a few spots.
And on Smith.
On that restart. He passed up Joe Smith. Boyd finished 13th. DuPont finished 11th.
And I think I saw someone else up there. I think Akiya Tajima, who goes up to 7th, getting ahead of JT Boyd as well, which that's going to be at least huge for him. Maybe not in terms of just, races, but just a big thing, at least for him. And then, man, yeah, just a lot of drivers. Ryan Silva gets his first top 10 of the season.
That's a good run for him in that 19 car. He was the highest finishing Hudson Motorsports car, so that's something to hang his hat on. But yeah,
Latanya Gray wrecking out in practice, going 8th.
Out of nowhere. I don't think she spent a single moment in the top 10 in this race other than that off-sequence pit strategy. And you know what? Tajima and Gray were both on that off-sequence strategy, so they actually made it work. It worked out for them. So both of them sneaking into the top 10 here late in the race. Karina Willis-Callaway snuck into the top 10. Kaylee Maxwell had yet another impressive race, but didn't really have the results to show for it. But I don't think she can get too angry about a top 10. And got a feel for Lori Jackson. She had the dominant car there in that middle stretch of the race. Had a 1.8 second lead, and she ends up finishing 1.8 seconds behind the winner. So back in 12th place. That's a rough break for the 7, but she's going to have probably plenty of other chances to get that first win. But wow, what a race here today at Phoenix. This track did not disappoint for sure. And Eddie, can you give us a bit of a recap of this race and maybe give us a preview for next week at the Texas Motor Speedway?
Well, if you want to recap, battle after battle after battle after battle, after a heck of a lot of battles, a lot of cautions that really, especially one very late that shook up the race. A lot of championship leaders did a couple of weird things. One went out early, one blew a tire. And in the end, it's someone who, I guess the unluckiest of them all gets lucky at the very end. But I think in the end, it was the tire whisperer. I called it. I called something, even though I may have predicted the driver to win would end up finishing last. I predicted the tire whisperer early in the race, and Luana Connie clearly had the tires for one more big move on the second to last lap, and it worked out. For Texas, in my mind, that race, I mean, we definitely can tell people caught up to Barry at the very end of this, so there might be more than just, a race win on the line. There might be a huge points, I don't want to say scandal, that's not the right word, but just a huge points fight in that one, and I'm sure it's going to be a great race no matter who calls it and who's here to watch it.
Texas is going to be the longest race of the season distance-wise, 126 miles. And you know what they say about Texas. They say everything is bigger in Texas, including the race length. That's going to be another important tire strategy race, unless the cautions fall right before the pit cycles like they did last year. That was a bit disappointing. But once you get that tire strategy to play out at Texas, it's really, really fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that one. And yeah, that's going to be, we're staying out west for that. But it's going to be a very fun race there. Another hot and slick racetrack. So yeah, probably going to be pretty similar to Phoenix in quite a few aspects. Even though it's a high banked oval instead of a flat oval like Phoenix is. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's race here at the Phoenix Raceway. Congratulations once again to Luana Connie and Connie Twins Motorsports. This is the team's first win of the year. So, they've been struggling financially this season with sponsorship, and that's definitely going to help them getting their first win of the season, and it was kind of similar to what they did in the Texas race last year. Luana won that race also, and that was also their first win of the season in kind of similar circumstances. So, got to feel good for them. They brought 2 cars to the track, and both of them finished in the top 10. Karina finished 9th, so great day all around for Connie Twins Motorsports. Definitely one that they needed. They've been struggling quite a bit this season, and it's good to see them finally come out on top this season. That's going to do it for today's race. Uh, thank you to Eddie. Thank you to Eddie Debs for calling this race for me, and definitely would like to have you on for more races in the future. And on behalf of him and myself, this is Brendan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network signing out.